Hey everyone, I'm out in the truck to do a couple of quick tests. I have the whip on the truck and the radio is grounded, and I made this ridiculous coil here out of Mix 31 snap-on ferrites. The wire is looped through 4 times. In most places it should stop a lot of the RF going to the radio if that's the issue. And I don't think it's going to make a difference, but I'm going to give it a shot. I've done both of these things, but I don't think I've done both of them together. So I just want to make sure that this doesn't do anything, and we'll see what I get. And I also have my TX500. Now, I had noise issues when I had my KX2 as well, but I didn't do all this choking and testing. I just was like, well, I got noise and I'm not going to do anything. So let's give it a try. The truck is off. And S9 plus noise. Let's disconnect the ground just to see. No difference with the ground on or off. Ground's connected again. Tons of noise. Turn the truck off. And the noise is gone. So that didn't seem to do anything. So let me get the TX500 out and we'll try it. TX500 out, and I have it running off a battery because it has no internal battery, and I've got the antenna connected. I don't have the ground connected because this radio doesn't have a ground lug anywhere. I guess I could just clamp onto one of the chassis bolts and that should be a good enough ground, but I don't have that with me. I'm out in the driveway. I can go grab something, but let's just see. As you can see, there's nothing on the waterfall. It's pretty good. It's pretty clean. And start the truck. And it's the same, not quite an S9 noise level. But it's the same, and I've done this test. I did try using this antenna when I had my KX2, and I think I even tried it when I had my my 857. And I would think that if a choke was going to work, this would at least do something, but it doesn't seem to have any effect at all. The noise level is just as high without this. So the choke stops common mode current from getting into the coax from the outside. But what if the signal being generated by the truck is just being picked up by the antenna in general and coming through the line? Here we are again. I'm out in the driveway again. Why, you may ask? Because this is driving me freaking crazy. So, as you know, I've done a lot of testing. And I've done so much testing, I think I forgot to do certain things. And one of them is to test everything with the ground on the wire, on the radio, in the truck. I've done testings with the mast and the antenna outside and putting the antenna through the window and everything else, but I don't remember doing a test with the mast and the radio grounded. So I'm gonna try to do that real quick. I also want to try other bands other than 20, just to make sure that it's not just 20 meters in other bands, which I believe it is, but I can't remember. So I'm going to set up my linked dipole here. This is a N9 SAB linked dipole. And it's a linked dipole for 20 and 40, and I actually have extra links to make it good for 80 as well. So it is set for 20, so I want to duplicate that test first. So throw it that way. And I've been using the vertical just to do quick setups, but I wanted to do a little bit more this time, so. Okay, so I have the link die pull up on the mast at the back of the truck. The radio here is receiving fine. Let me get to a clear frequency. I just want a clear frequency so we can hear the noise difference. And I'm going to start the truck and let's see what noise we get. That's actually not too bad compared to before. Let's unplug the ground. I unplugged the ground. It looks like it went up a little bit. Yeah, right now it's around S5, S6 maybe, bouncing. So let me plug the ground back in, see if it goes back down a little bit. No, it's still up there. So the ground, oh wait. Okay. Now, see, now the noise is creeping up. But that could be somebody on the band. Let me go up higher. No, that's about it. It seemed to creep up as the truck idled. So let's put a couple of these on. I snapped on a bunch of toroids. I got a couple loops. I snapped on some other ones. And I still have the noise. There's really no difference. So I'm going to switch to 40 meters and see if it's the same or if it's different. Let's just do that real quick. So I don't know if you can hear that on 40 meters, but that sounds like ignition noise. That actually took the ignition noise out. Let's actually try tuning a station and see what we get.
And I don't know. I don't think it could be any better. The best I can tell, it's doing a real fine job for you. We're running a.
That sounds pretty. 40 meters actually might be usable. I mean, there's a lot of static. It doesn't seem, but I'm really not hearing a lot of people. But I am hearing people, and it does sound okay. And that's the mast on the back of the truck. So I could do 40 meters, which means I'd have to stretch out more wire and stuff to operate, but that actually might be usable. So I'm going to take all the toroids off and see if those are making any difference or not. So the noise blanker does block out the ignition noise, but get this, the ignition noise is not coming from the antenna, it's coming from the ground. So I disconnected the ground. I am getting some static from the vehicle, but not as bad as I was before.
This end over here. That sounds good. You're not real strong, but I'm picking. My boss is 82. I called.
So it's not great, but it would be usable. At least I think so. So I'm going to drop back down to 20 meters without the ground and see what I get. I did look at, I asked the local group chat that our club, the people in the area have, if anybody had a Buddy Stick Pro that I could try. Because I think that might be one of the easier ones to set up vertically. And I know one person's a fan of the Wolf River, and another person said they didn't care for the Buddy Stick because it was too hard to tune, that they thought the Wolf River was easier to tune. The Wolf River requires more radials because it's a vertical, where the Buddy Stick is more with an elevated radial or counterpoise. It's more of a dipole. Well, everything's packed up. I did a few more tests and no luck. It's just no luck. No matter what I did, it might be doable on 40, but it would still be, I still think the noise level would be high enough to bother me. So I'm going to favor to ask of you guys, and that is, I had one of the original Wolf River coils with the small base, the small tripod, and at the time I was still a pretty new ham, I would say, and I used it, but I didn't have a lot of good success with it, and I just did not enjoy it. I was using the KX2, and now that I have radios that actually have SWR meters built in, because I hated having to use the meter to tune the antenna and then hook it up to the radio. Well, now with the TX500 or the 705, I can do that right on the radio. But what I want to know, but every time I would take it out, I would have to set up the Wolf River coil, adjust the coil, put out the radials, and that's what mainly bothered me. And then if you change bands, then you had to try to find your spot back on the coil. So I am thinking about the Buddy Stick, because I'm hoping that it's a repeatable tune for 20 and 40 meters, or 20 and 10s, for example, that I could set it and put the taps on it and then get that tap back immediately the next time I set up, so I could have a quick deployment. I know you got to put out the radial, but I could always mark the radial and do all that stuff. So I want to know, for those of you who have the Buddy Stick and use it all the time, I want to know how repeatable setting it up is. If it's a repeatable function, then it might be something that I'm going to seriously consider purchasing. Or if there's another antenna you would consider. The reason I'm considering the Buddy Stick, my arm is getting tired obviously, is that it has the Deluxe has the tripod. I literally could take it out of the truck, set it up in a few minutes, put out the one elevated radial, and be on the air. With the Wolf River coil, you got to lay out all your radials. I know it comes with 3, but I know it's a lot better with more. So yeah, that's what I'm considering. Now I am considering just using, I have a 10-meter fiberglass mast. I could just put a rod in the ground. Some places don't allow you to put things in the ground. And what if I'm in a parking lot and there's not a lot of grass area? I might not be able to pound it in. So I need a way to support that mast away from the truck. So on the truck, please let me know in the comments, or send me a message. I'd appreciate it. I'm good on my email address on QRZ is good. This is Tango Oscar Mike saying 73. Take care.
Tango Oscar Mike.